We are over with the theoretical part. Let's move on to the practical side of it. The first thing we're going to learn is the SQL statement. The first statement is the create statement. As the name said, it's used to create a new database and a table. To understand what database and table, let's see one picture. This is a raw data. Raw data can be in any form. To store a raw data, we need a table in an SQL. And to store a table, we require a database. The structure remains same for every scenario. Now we move on to the SQL. The statement, how to write it, it's create is database. Create is the statement. We are going to create database and we have to assign it a name. We have to select it. If we have to run it by either by clicking executing here, or when I hover over it, it's showing F5. Click F5, a shortcut key. Once it run, it will show you command successfully. Now we have to create a table to store a data. To store before creating a table, we have to ensure that I assign a command to us to SQL that use this database. By default, it is in master. To do that, I have to use this statement use execute command successfully. The C earlier it was showing master, now it's showing the new database which we have created. Now we move to the creation of table. To create a table, create table. Now we have to assign another name to a table. There can be a multiple table in one database. Now we have to before executing the command, we have to assign a column names in the table, because to store a data, we definitely require a column name and the character types. The first, I have taken an example where I'm be creating a student database where roll number with character 2, name with variable character 15, subject with variable character 10. As discussed in the running video, that char and varchar is having a same output, but the only difference is char will allocate these two the two space in the back of the system to character. If I am writing one, still it will suppose in data if I write one, it still assign the space for those two, whether my data capturing one space or two space. But what about what a good feature about a varchar? A varchar is a variable type of feature where if I have assigned 15 but I am not utilizing it, by assigning varchar, system will automatically uh, squeeze that extra space so that it will not overburden the space issues. So let's run this create table. So my table is created. So I'm done with the create statement of both database and tables. Let's move on to select statement. What is select statement? Select statement is basically used to retrieve data from existing table. Like we have just created a table. So since we have just created a table, we have not keyed in any data. So it will just showing me the column headers. If I just want to see the names, I can trim the query like this. So it will show me the name. So the change to be observed that if I have to see the particular columns, I have to mention here. Otherwise, I have to star, which will act as select all from std. Now my next thing is insert. Insert statement. Insert statement is basically to key in data in a table on a new row manually. So I have to enter it. So to do this, insert statement, insert into where I have to insert data into table. What are the values? Values are this. So characters and var means the characters always code with the single quotes, and our query always end with the semicolon. Since the here This is only single line uh, command, so we ended with the semicolon. But when my command is increasing, I don't need to put semicolon at every end. So it will be coming only in the last of the command. So my one row affected. I want to see the data. So I have to use the select queries the same way use the above. Select star from std. So here's it. And now there's another scenario. I have only data for roll number and name, but I don't have any subject. To do that, here I have not mentioned any column name, but since I have limited data, I have to mention the column name and the data in the same order. I can put name first and roll number, same ways I have to put the data. Let's run it. One row effective means data entered. Now I have to again retrieve the data so that to see that what coming in my what is the data available currently in the table. So my blank columns are always shown as null. Update statement, as the name said, we update statement is used to update any existing row or a multiple row. So the statement is used like written like this: update table name. Then we have to use the set command to put the values which we need to replace on which column and what is my new value. I will be updating this null value. So did you observe anything? I want to update only that null value, but my two rows impacted. Why? Because I have not restricted the my command for that one row, so it will impact whole data. Since subject is match in my scenario, so it will not impacting my data. But in case there is a huge data and having different subjects or different data in the columns, so we have to be cautious. So we have to restrict it by by using where clause and the row, like the unique identifier on the basis of which we want the row to be decided. Like let me change this to English. I'm restricting it this time to the rule number 2 only. My one row affected. Now let me rerun the query to show you. See, it's updated. Now in my last query, the since two rows impacted, so maths come to both updated the previous one, but since it's already same, so it doesn't impact. But in this case, I've only impacted the English, means the last row number 2. Next statement is delete statement. Delete statement is basically to delete a row or to data on a row. It will not delete any structure. Suppose I want to delete the data for roll number 2. One row impacted. See, so command for this will be delete from table, and we are restricting with clause where roll number is equal to 2. Like update feature, delete feature also had we have to restrict it with the some unique factor, otherwise it will delete the whole table. See, if I execute by not restricting it, since it had only one row, so my data is blank. Although currently we have that query with us, so we can easily fill our data with no time. I'm using this so that I can differentiate the data. See, the crux around this is that if I'm not restricting the delete query with any unique identifier, then it will delete my whole data and it will create a rework for me. Next is truncate statement. So what is truncate statement? Truncate statement is basically again used to delete the data, but the only change, it will also not impact the structure, but the only change with delete statement is that in delete statement we have a functionality that we can use a where clause, and we can delete only one or multiple rows whichever required, but during truncate we can't restrict it. It will delete the whole data. Okay, so these are also sometimes requires, but and it is more faster than delete command because it's we require to delete the whole data. So we have to be cautious while selecting the delete and the truncate statement. So this is the truncate statement. If I run this, what will happen? Complete command completed successfully. My whole data wiped off. Okay. Let me again key in data so that it will be easier for me to show you the next statements. Let's leave. Okay, let's do it. It's just a matter of. Now come the alter statement. This is one of the statement which can be used very frequently. Suppose I have assigned a data, like here we go back to the SQL. We have assigned this as character, and I realize that I have only 10 students in my class, or precisely 9 students. So and it might be that they will increase in near future to double digit. But by assigning character, I am blocking the space. So I want to alter uh, the character I have assigned to the roll number. So by clicking, by entering the statement alter table std, alter table name, alter which column we want to alter, roll number. The command is also, although we can't retrieve and confirm it, but on the back of it will change the structure. And another feature is alter statement is that it can remove any single column, complete column, if we think that we have created an extra column and we want to remove that. Like if I want to remove the subject column, so instead of alter I can use drop column here. Let me retrieve a data. See, subject is wiped off. It's not there. Let's move to a next statement. Drop statement. Name says drop. Drop means removing completely. We normally don't use this much in while writing any queries, but sometimes we are doing any testing and we are creating a copy of any database or a table. Now we want to delete it. We can use these commands, but make sure while using this command, this will remove both structure and data. Which if we remove that and we need it in future, then we have to rework again. To drop a table means that this table which hold this data, drop table name. The command successful. If I'm trying to find it, the table is not there. Okay, means we have removed the complete table, and even SQL is not able to find that table in the directories. Now I want to use the I want to drop the database. See, if you want to drop any database, you can't drop it while using it, so you have to change it first. Like we see the master in the starting here, master change. Now if I hit the drop command, my database is deleted. Hope topic is clear. If you have any doubts, please post your queries in the comment section and I will reply back to you in comments, or I will cover the same in my next video. Thank you so much.